Hi kids, it's Uncle Pete on Storytime again, coming to you from Lunenburg Public Access. I'm going to read to you today from some series of books, and if you ask your parents or probably your grandparents if they ever had any of these books, I guarantee you'll get a smile, because they were called Little Golden Books. And throughout the 40s and 50s, every family bought these little books. They're inexpensive. And I know in our house we had an entire shelf full of them, and these are the first books my mom ever read to me. This first book came out the same year I was born. I won't tell you when that was. And it remains one of my all-time favorite stories. It's a book called The Little Red Hen, and it has a moral to it. It's such an old folk tale that no one knows who exactly first wrote it. But this particular book was illustrated by Rudolf Freund. It's the 6th of the Golden Book series of several hundred. One summer day, the little red hen found a grain of wheat. "A grain of wheat," said the little red hen to herself. "I will plant it." She asked the duck, "Would you help me plant the grain of wheat?" "Quack, quack, not I," said the duck. She asked the goose, "Would you help me plant this grain of wheat?" "Honk, honk, not I," said the goose. She asked the cat, "Would you help me plant this grain of wheat?" "Wow, wow, not I," said the cat. She asked the pig, "Would you help me please plant this grain of wheat?" "Oink, oink, not I," said the pig. "Then I will plant it myself," said the little red hen. And she did. Soon the wheat grew tall, and the little red hen knew it was time to reap it. "Who will help me reap the wheat?" she asked. "Whack, whack, not I," said the duck. "Honk, honk, not I," said the goose. "Meow, meow, not I," said the cat. "Oink, oink, not I," said the pig. "Then I will reap it myself," said the little red hen. And she did. So she reaped the wheat, and it was ready to take to the mill to be made into flour. "Who will help me carry the wheat to the mill?" she asked. "Quack, quack, not I," said the duck. "Honk, honk, not I," said the goose. "Meow, meow, not I," said the cat. "Honk, honk, not I," said the pig. "Then I will carry it myself," said the little red hen. And she did. So she carried the wheat to the mill, and the miller made it into flour, and she carried the flour home. When she got there, she asked, "Who will help me make the flour into dough?" "Quack, quack, not I," said the duck. "Honk, honk, not I," said the goose. "Meow, meow, not I," said the cat. "Oink, oink, not I," said the pig. "Then I will make the dough myself," said the little red hen. And she did. So she put on a white apron and mixed the dough. Soon the bread was ready to go into the oven. "Who will help me bake the bread?" said the little red hen. "Quack, quack, not I," said the duck. "Honk, honk, not I," said the goose. "Meow, meow, not I," said the cat. "Oink, oink, not I," said the pig. And she said, "Well, then I will bake it myself." And she did. After the loaf had been taken from the oven, it was set on the table to cool. "And now," said the little red hen, Who will help me eat the bread? Quack, 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 quack. I will, said the duck. Honk, honk, honk. I will, said the goose. Wow, 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 wow. I will, said the cat. I will, said the pig. No, I will eat it myself, said the little red hen. And she did. Get the point? Second story, cute little story. It's from an old German folk tale. Again, there's no known direct author. And it was illustrated by a fellow who illustrated a lot of the golden books named Richard Scarry. Not scary, Scarry. It's called Three Billy Goats Gruff. My brother and I used to play this, act it out at home sometimes with our band. The Three Billy Goats Gruff. Once upon a time, there were three billy goats named Gruff who lived together on a mountainside. On their mountainside, there was little to eat, but just across the way was a beautiful pasture of green grass. On the way to this pasture, they had to pass over a bridge, and underneath the bridge lived a big, bad troll. One day, trip-trop, 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 the youngest billy goat Gruff started to cross the bridge. Who trips over my bridge? Roared the troll. Only little billy goat Gruff, said the little goat in his small, small voice. Aha! I am going to come up and eat you, said the troll. Oh, don't eat me, cried the little billy goat Gruff. My brother is coming after me, and he's much bigger than I. So the troll grumbled and rumbled, but he let the little billy goat cross the bridge. Soon, trip-trop, trip-trop, the second billy goat Gruff started to cross the bridge. Who trips over my bridge? Roared the troll. Only the middle-sized billy goat Gruff, said the second goat in his middle-sized voice. Aha! I am going to come up and eat you, said the troll. Oh, don't eat me, cried the middle-sized billy goat Gruff. My brother is coming after me, and he's much bigger than I. So the troll grumbled and rumbled, but he let the middle-sized billy goat Gruff cross the bridge. Soon, trip-trop, 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 the biggest billy goat Gruff started to cross the bridge. Who jumps over my bridge? Roared the troll. It is I, great big billy goat Gruff, shouted the biggest goat in his great big voice. Aha! I am going to come up and eat you, said the troll. Come along then, cried the big billy goat Gruff. So up came the old troll. But the great big billy goat Gruff put down his head and bounded forward and hurled the troll right off the bridge, and he was never seen again. Then the great big billy goat Gruff joined his two brothers in the pasture. The grass was so delicious that all three goats grew round and plump before they trudged home again. And the third story, this is a fun one to read too. It's called The Gingerbread Man. This one was told by Nancy Nolte and also illustrated by Richard Scarry. Once upon a time, see all the stories always start that way? Once upon a time, a little old man and a little old woman lived in a neat little house in a wood. Every day, the little old woman baked wonderful cookies and cakes and pies for the little old man. One day she decided to cook something special for him. So she made a beautiful gingerbread man. He had raisins for eyes, a currant for his nose, and a pink sugar candy waistcoat. She popped him into the oven to bake. When he was done, the little old woman took him out of the oven, laid him on the table to cool, and went out in the yard to water her flowers. As soon as she was out of sight, the gingerbread man sat up on the table. Seeing that no one was around, he climbed down and ran out the door and away down the path. The little old woman saw him. "Stop! Stop!" she cried, and she started to run after him. But the gingerbread man only laughed over his shoulder and called, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man." And with that, he ran even faster, with the little old woman running behind him. Soon, they came to the field where the little old man was busy planting cabbages. When he saw the gingerbread man running away, and the little old woman trying to stop him, he cried out, "Stop! Stop!" But the gingerbread man only laughed and called back, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I get away from the little old woman. I can get away from you. I can. And with that, he ran even faster, with the little old woman and the little old man running as fast as they could behind him. Soon, he came to a pasture where a gentle brown cow was chewing her cud. When the cow saw the delicious gingerbread man running down the road, she thought of how good he would taste. So she cried, "Stop, stop." But the gingerbread man only laughed and called back, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I got away from the little old woman and the little old man, and I get away from you. I can. And with that, he ran even faster, with the little old woman, the little old man, and the gentle brown cow after him. The gingerbread man was getting tired now, but he would not give up. Then he saw a big brown bear eating honey from a tree, and he knew that we'd have to run even faster. When the bear smelled the wonderful gingery smell, he thought of how good gingerbread man would taste with the honey. So the bear cried, "Stop, stop." But the gingerbread man drew a deep breath and laughed and cried out, "Run, run as fast as you can. You can't catch me. I'm the gingerbread man. I got away from the little old woman and the little old man and the big gentle brown cow, and I get away from you. I can. On he ran, with the little old woman, the little old man, the gentle brown cow, and the big brown bear all running after him. At last, the gingerbread man saw a river before him, and he did not know how he could cross it. But a wily red fox was sitting near the river, and when he saw the gingerbread man, he decided that he would eat him. As the gingerbread man ran up to the river's edge, the wily red fox came out to meet him. "Jump on my tail, and I'll carry you across the river," he called out to the gingerbread man. "If I do, you will eat me," said the gingerbread man. "Oh no," said the fox. "I don't like gingerbread." So the gingerbread man jumped on the fox's tail, and the fox waded into the river. But soon the water grew so deep that it lapped about the toes of the little gingerbread man. "Fox," he cried, "I am getting wet." "Jump on my back," cried the wily red fox. The gingerbread man jumped on the fox's back, but again the water started to lap about the gingerbread man's face. "Fox," he said again, "I am getting wet." "Jump on my head," said the fox. The gingerbread man jumped on the fox's head, but the water was soon creeping up. "Jump on my nose," said the wily red fox. The gingerbread man jumped on the fox's nose, and snip, snip, the fox gobbled him up. And that's just what should happen to all gingerbread men. Hope you like the Golden Book, folks, and we'll see you again next time.
Hello, boys and girls. I'm Debbie Lincoln, and I have 3 books to read to you today. The first one I've asked Uncle Pete to help me read because it's kind of a 2-parter, and it's an old story that kind of goes with his golden books. It's the story of Little Red Riding Hood, but it's a little different take on it. It's a 2-part story. It's called The Cat, the Dog, Little Red, The Exploding Eggs, The Wolf, and Grandma.
All sounds a bit complicated to me.
And it's by Diane and Christiane Fox.
What's this page for here?
It's called the end paper, but it comes at the beginning. There was once a sweet little girl who lived with her father and mother in a pretty little cottage at the edge of the village. She always wore a red cape with a hood, which suited her so well that everybody called her Little Red Riding Hood.
What's this little page here?
It's a story about a little girl who always wears a red cape with a hood.
Cool! I love stories about superheroes. What's her special power?
She doesn't have special powers. It's not that kind of a story.
So what happens?
Well, one morning, her mother asked Little Red Riding Hood to take a basket of eggs, butter, cake, and sweets to her grandmother.
So kindness is her special power. Does she hypnotize bad guys into being nice? And what kind of candy?
Look, do you want to hear this story or not? So where was I? Little Red Riding Hood was on her way to Grandma's house when she met a wolf.
A wolf! Excellent. They always are the bad guys in the stories like this. I bet she zaps them with her kindness ray. Zap.
Ugh. She does not have a kindness ray. She has a basket of eggs and butter and cakes and sweets.
Well, how does she fight crime then? Does she have a cool kind of flying gadget basket, or are there exploding eggs?
There's no kindness ray, no flying basket, and no exploding eggs. She's just a sweet little girl with terrible fashion sense on her way to see her grandmother.
Okay. Let's hear the rest of the story.
Well, the wolf asked Little Red Riding Hood where she was going, and she said, Grandma's house. So the wolf said goodbye and secretly headed to Grandma's house.
Hang on. Why doesn't the wolf man try to eat Hood Girl right then and there?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? How should I know why he didn't eat her?
I wonder why the wolf prefers old ladies.
Anyway, the wolf arrived at Grandma's cottage and saw the old lady lying in bed. She jumped up when she saw the wolf and locked herself in the closet.
You know, I think the wolf needs to think bigger if he's going to be a supervillain. Maybe he could rob a bank on the way to Grandma's house.
Are you listening at all? No special powers, no supervillain, no exploding eggs.
Yes.
Okay, so Grandma leaped up out of bed and locked herself in the closet to be safe. Then the wolf put on some of Grandma's clothes and climbed into the bed, waiting for Little Red Riding Hood to arrive.
Hang on. Now you're saying he does want to eat her.
Yes. Anyway, this is my favorite part. She arrived and said, "What big eyes you have, Grandma." And the wolf replied, "All the better to see you with."
She's not very bright. I mean, if it were my grandmother all dressed up, I think I might have noticed right away.
And Little Red Riding Hood said, "What a big nose you have, Grandma." And the wolf replied, "All the better to smell you with."
Let me see that book.
And she said, "What big teeth you have, Grandma." And the wolf said, "All the better to eat you up."
Yikes!
But just at the last moment, Little Red Riding Hood's father arrived and chopped off the wolf's head with an axe.
Gulp.
And they all lived happily ever after.
I'm not sure the wolf was very happy at the end. So, let me see if I have this right. The Red Hood is on her way to help an old lady when she meets the Wolfman. He has an evil plan. He likes to dress up in girls' clothes and eat people. He and Red have a big battle, and Red's father puts an end to Wolfie.
Well,
That's not a very nice story, is it? Are you absolutely sure this is a children's book?
that's it. I'm leaving. Find your own book to read.
Just one question I have.
What?
Is Grandma still in the closet?
The end. So, boys and girls, do you have trouble cleaning your room? I know a lot of you don't think that's the most pleasant chore in the world. So I have a great book for you. It's called Great. Now We've Got Barbarians. It's written by Jason Carter Eaton and illustrated by Mark Fearing. It's about a boy who didn't like to clean his room. Mom was mad because I left cupcake crumbs in my bed again. If you don't clean up after yourself, we're going to get pests. Mom always makes a big deal out of little things. What was the worst that could happen? We get a couple of ants, a few flies, a little bitty mouse. But the next day, "Great, we've got barbarians," said my mother. His name was Vlad, and he demanded an entire cupcake. I thought he was kind of cute and handed him one. But Mom said he was disgusting and shooed him out the door. I figured that was the end of the pest invasion. But that afternoon, in the playroom, I ran into Tor, who'd come seeking glory and cheese curls. I swatted him out of the house before Mom could see. Things quickly got worse. My sister found two shaggy barbarians on her bed, watching TV and finishing off a bag of chips I'd started earlier in the week. When my dad turned on the garage light, a whole bunch of surprised barbarians scurried off, leaving behind yak pelts and horned helmets. And then Mom caught a big bearded barbarian in the bathroom putting on her makeup. I explained maybe he thought it was war paint, but she didn't buy it. There was no more denying it. We had an infestation of barbarians, and I didn't think they were so cute anymore. They picked the marshmallows out of my cereal when I wasn't looking. They used my school supplies to scratch their hairy backs and my toys to clean out their ears. And when I got into bed, my blankets and pillows were gone. the barbarians had stolen them to make forts. Vlad and Tor couldn't agree on whose horde got the popcorn kernels and whose got the half-eaten sandwiches. So they declared crumb war on each other. Their battles raged all night long. We set traps, but that hardly slowed them down. We made scare-barians, but barbarians aren't easily scared. The house was filled with snoring, snarling, belching, battering, grumbling, growling, loitering, looting, and lazing savages of all shapes and sizes. "Time to call the exterminator," said Mom.
"Yep," said the exterminator. "You've got barbarians, all right. One of the worst cases I've ever seen."
Dad looked around the house sadly. "Looks like we're out of options," he said. "I guess we'll have to move." I couldn't avoid it anymore. There was really only one solution left. I cleaned up every crumb and sticky candy wrapper I'd ever left around the house. Months of slobby snacking and messy habits all went into the garbage. As I cleaned, the barbarians grunted in disgust and skulked out the door. Finally, only Vlad and Tor were left. I handed them the trash on the way out. I realized that Mom might exaggerate sometimes, but that doesn't mean she's wrong. From that day forward, I made sure to always clean up after myself. Unfortunately, a week later, I forgot to turn off the water when I was done filling up the bathtub. Oh, great! Now we've got pirates! The end. And now for my last story. Do you like detective stories? Have you ever thought you wanted to grow up to be a detective? I always did when I was little. This story is called 7, 8, 9. It's written by Tara Lazar and illustrated by Ross McDonald. 6 has a problem. Everyone knows that 7 is always after him. Word on the street is that 7, 8, 9. If that's true, 6's days are numbered. Lucky for him, Private Eye is on the case, but the facts just don't add up. It's odd. Will Private Eye put 2 and 2 together and solve the problem, or is 6 next in line to be subtracted? Let's find out. 7, 8, 9. I was dozing in my chair when an urgent banging on my office door bolted me awake. It was 6. Something had scared the pants off him. 7 is coming to get me, said 6. As a private eye, I'm used to his type. Numbers. They're always stuck in a problem. But I knew about this 7 fella. He was odd. Take it easy, 7, I said. Take it easy, 6, I said. What's 7 up to? Word on the street is that 7, 8, 9, and now he's after me, said 6. Well, technically, he's always after you. I said there's 5, then 6, then 7. See, that proves it. I told 6 not to panic. Stay here. I'll get to the root of this. I hope so, said 6. I fear my days are numbered. First, I went looking for 8. She's usually caught between 7 and 9. I found her at the corner of 2nd Avenue and 4th Street. But 8 knew nothing. Zilch. Nada. If it's true, 8 said, that I'm next in line. In a flash, she took off her belt. Now 8 looked just like 0. Good disguise. I needed a solid lead. I strolled into Cafe Uno, leaned on the counter, and ordered a slice of pie. B, the waitress, had the scoop. Yeah, I heard 789, she said. So you haven't seen 9 around, I said. Negative, said B. He just disappeared. So 9 was gone. I couldn't let 7 be the one that got away. But I needed more data. I went to see 11. She and 7 are like 2 peas in a pod. 7 couldn't have done it, said 11. He's on vacation. Are you sure? I prodded. I'm positive. I saw him leave. But if 7 was gone, then where was 9? It didn't add up. Frustrated, I headed back uptown. That's when I saw him crossing the street. Finally, I put 2 and 2 together. I had to get back to the office. On the double, I told the driver. I busted through my office door and found 6 taking 40 winks. I have solved this numerical nonsense, I cried. I grabbed 6 and turned him upside down. His true color was revealed, just as I suspected. My client, 6, was really 9. You had everyone worried, 9, I said. Why did you say 7, 8, 9? Because 7 gets all the attention. Lucky 7, 7 wonders of the world, Snow White and the 7 dwarfs. Figures. 9 felt like he didn't measure up. 7, 7, 7. It's like I don't exist. Folks hurry right past me on their way to 10. Don't even get me started on 10. Everyone thinks he's perfect. I zeroed in on 9. Are you kidding? You should be on cloud 9 right now. Happy as can be, the whole 9 yards. How come? Asked 9. Because you've got 9 lives. That's when 11 showed up. Look who's back, she said. It was 7. Stammered 9. No hard feelings, 7, old pal? Sure. Let's not be divided, 7 said. 7 seemed awfully pleased for a number who had just been framed. Why so happy, 7, I asked. I just sailed the 7 seas. I'm in 7th heaven. At last, everyone was back in order. And now I could take letter cases again. Letters can be wordy at times, but they're A-OK in my book. The next day, while dozing in my chair, my phone bolted me awake. I'd recognize her voice anywhere. It was 2, with another problem to solve. I've really got to change my number. The end. I hope you enjoyed these stories today, and we'll be back to talk to you another time. Have a great day, boys and girls.